welcome back into Cherry Pickin, guys. Week 10 for must add. 4 new players to add to your fantasy hockey rosters. Looking back at last week's must adds, we had Pyotr Kochetkov, starter on the Carolina Hurricanes right now with Freddie out. Still a great add if he's still available in your league. Then looking at some of the other guys, TJ Oshie was a guy I mentioned. Obviously coming back from injury. This Caps team starting to get into their own form here. I have another Washington Capital to add this week on the defensive end as well. And then Matt Benning, actually a great add, someone you could still add right now. He's getting a lot of ice time on the Sharks team right now, especially with some of the injuries they have on the back end. So be sure to try to pick him up. But into the 4 new players for this week, the first guy we're going to be adding is Cole Perfetti, 28% rostered right now on the Winnipeg Jets. Definitely starting to become a more popular ad. So this would be one of the first guys I'm adding this week. His stats are pretty solid, 18 points in 27 games, but some things to look at to indicate that he might be trending in the right direction. For one, his points per 60 minutes right now is 2.65, which is awesome. He has just 6 goals on the season, but his shooting percentage is very low for the caliber and skill that this kid possesses. He's at around 11%. If he gets that up to 13% or even 14%, which I think is very manageable, I think he'll be even more valuable. He's played over 16 minutes in their most recent game against Washington too, and one of the main reasons of that being he's now on the first line with Scheifele and Wheeler. So, you put a young kid with 2 guys who have been in the league forever and who are maybe trending downwards a little bit. So in terms of scoring opportunity, I think that will rely really on Scheifele and Perfetti on this line. And you look at it, last game, they had an expected goals percentage of over 50, something that they have been able to keep up of over 50% every time they've been put on a line together. So it seems like Rick Bowness is really starting to trust this kid a little bit more. You should too, so add him to your roster. All right, the next guy we're going to be adding this week, Dmitry Orlov on the Washington Capitals. Defenseman, right now, 23% rostered. He's only played 14 games, so he's missed 16 games so far this season. Right back to his normal ways we saw on the weekend against the Jets. He had 2 assists. He played 22 minutes of ice time. This is a guy who played pretty much 20 plus minutes of ice time the last 5 years over the course of his career. A guy that is really relied heavily on this Washington Capitals team, and who's been playing on the first D pair with John Carlson for quite some time now when he is healthy. He does play on the second power play line, which is obviously a little bit weaker, but he gets a little bit more opportunity with a little bit of lack of depth. Like there's guys like Connor Sheary on this second Washington Capitals power play right now. So on the point with Ovechkin, he'll still get maybe some residuals from Ovechkin and then just other scoring opportunities. His assists per 60 minutes right now, 1.41. That's on a small sample size as well. We saw his career high in points last season on this Capitals team with 35. And the only reason why he's 23% roster right now is because of how much time he's missed over the past month and a half. He's also a great add for bangers leagues as well. He's had over 100 hits in 5 of his seasons, most of those coming in recent seasons as well. And then this Capitals team finally starting to get healthy again. TJ Oshie's back in the lineup. We have Orlov. So a few more of these depth guys and guys they've relied on over the past couple of years back in this lineup will help them move the puck offensively, score more offensively, and I think Dmitry Orlov will be a big part of that. So the next guy we're going to be adding this week, Jack Quinn, has left wing and right wing capabilities in Yahoo Fantasy Leagues. He's 19% rostered, definitely starting to become a little bit more public ad as well. But at 19%, still someone I want to mention here. This guy was actually someone I thought was a dark horse to win the Calder going into this year. He had all the opportunity in the world to become a top 6 forward on this Buffalo Sabres team, and he's done it off the back of 6 goals, 10 assists, and 6 power play points. I would say maybe he's someone you could throw some change on to win the Calder right now. It's tough to say that. Matty Benier seems like he's almost got this locked up, and Logan Thompson in second with that Vegas team. He's been unreal on as their starting netminder so far this season. But Jack Quinn, he's been playing on this young line with JJ Peterka and Dylan Cousins. Collins was a must-add 2 weeks ago. He's been one of the top fantasy scorers over the last 2 weeks. So if he's producing at a higher rate, there's no reason to believe that Jack Quinn can't continue to produce at the level that he's been producing on. This line played the most ice time last game, 13 minutes of ice time. Expected goals percentage about 67 as well. So they're creating a lot of scoring opportunities. Don Granato must have a lot of faith in this line and Jack Quinn, especially considering their second line does feature Tage Thompson right now. Skinner's been out of the lineup a little bit, but still doesn't really seem like they're going to be shaking up this line a whole lot. Jack Quinn on the second power play as well. Cousins featured on that first power play. So I think Cousins is definitely a more priority add, but Quinn you can also add as well. He's currently 5th on the team in points per 60 at just under 3. He has 9 points in his last 10 games too. So with a continued amount of minutes and consistent minutes now from Don Granato on this young line that's now technically the first line on the Sabres team. I think he'll continue to create scoring opportunities and get points. So definitely try to add Jack Quinn when you still can. All right, the last guy we're going to be adding this week, definitely a little bit more of a deeper dive, and that's Jack Roslovic, center on the Columbus Blue Jackets. 4% rostered. This guy's been playing unbelievably, especially his last game. He had 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists in Columbus in the overtime win against the Kings on Sunday. He just got moved onto the second line too with Patrick Laine and Chinikov. Laine starting to get back into his normal ways as well. This line had an expected goals percentage of about 40% in 15 minutes of ice time too. And look, Jack Roslovic, never been a huge goals guy, but you find yourself playing with Patrick Laine, you'll end up just being a big assist guy because this guy's been scoring quite a bit. And the proof is in the pudding, honestly. He has 6 goals in his last 6 games, Patrick Laine. 4 of them have been assisted by Jack Roslovic. His points per 60 minutes is 2.2, which you might think is a little low, but for a guy that's 4% rostered, like that's an absolute steal right now. Plays on the first power play line as well. With how much volume this guy's getting and how volatile that this lineup is so far with the injuries that they're having and just being able to kind of switch up these lines since they are so low in the standings, they need to find something that works. He's going to be staying in the top 6 for these forward lines, and if he's staying with Laine, he's definitely someone you're going to want to have on your roster, so be sure to add him. Thank you very much for listening to this week's Must Add. We'll have some videos coming out later on in the week, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Join the Discord so you can hop in all the fun as we discuss fantasy hockey for the rest of the season, and I'll see you guys later on in the week.